Hey everyone, welcome to another Scryfall Shenanigans, and another one where I'm starting off with a single card. So as I've said in previous episodes, if there's a favourite single cards of yours that you would like me to do a Scryfall Shenanigans treatment to, then yeah, stick it in the comments section. I do have sort of provisional slots mapped out until well into 2026. Or the start of 2026, but you know, if anybody comes up with like a suggestion or a card I could do, then I can just swap that out and move my suggested ones down out of the way. I just did them because I wanted to have a nice amount of cards I could use sort of in reserve, already decided. So I wasn't and ahhing just before I shot the video. So Contagion was one that came up that I'd discovered at random. I was sort of trying to remember the one. I knew I wanted to do a video where it had a black cat on it, so I could go down like an artwork rabbit hole. But then it opened up a few other things, as it usually does. So we'll see where this takes us. The idea with a lot of these particularly single card ones is to sort of go through and slice through, you know, the card, have a look at it, look at Cobra, look at EDHRec, look at something like top 5, see if it ever came up on a tournament deck or any major event. And then talk a little bit about whatever takes my fancy beyond that. So I don't do a ton of prep beyond just bringing up the card in those particular websites and then just seeing if I get any sort of initial vibe about where I might want to take it, just as a rough idea. And then when I come to shoot the video, I probably end up doing something completely different. So Contagion, 3 and 2 black, pretty high cost, but you'll see in a moment it's one of these sort of alternative cost cards. So it's an instant. You may pay 1 life and exile a black card from your hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Distribute 2 -2/-1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. Now remember, with this, the alternate cost, you are exiling the black card from your hand. You're not discarding it. So yeah, that puts it out of reach at this point of time in Magic. There are cards a lot later in Magic which have ways of interacting with exile, but at this point, yeah, it's gone. Distribute 2 -2/-1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures, which is interesting because if you look at the original text, that's one thing that hasn't actually been. I mean, well, they've rejigged it, haven't they? So it says put 2 -2/-1 counters, distribute any way you choose on any number of target creatures. Was the original one. So yeah, it's basically been cleaned up, the description. And on the original, you get this reminder here about the effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. So yeah, in alliances, in the World Championship decks 1997, we'll see why in a moment. Is a Deck Masters inclusion, online, and then in the mystery boosters in that, or would it be Future Sight frame? Yeah, Future Sight frame. Prefer the original. Yep, zooming in an artwork, we've got a black cat, we've got skeletons. What isn't there to enjoy? Implying here, I think, that this particular character had some part in their demise. So yeah, don't mess with the cat. So we'll come back to some of these in a moment. We will go down an artwork. We will go down some of these other ones. Look pretty interesting. Things like mannerless values, spot removal, unique counters. This whole deprecated power toughness counter. Yeah. Something you don't see anymore. Like -2, -1 counters. And notice it's doing it through counters. So there are ways in the game where you can mess about with counters as well. Those interesting interactions there, both with proliferate and what is it? You know, counters that put -1 counters on as a result of poison, I suppose. So it is interesting over time, isn't it, how other things synergize or stack, or however you want to think about it. So let's look at Cube Cobra. Often drafted with, Dark Ritual got the future sight treatment as well. Oh, look at all the classics here. Imtatorak, Duress, Hypnotic Spectre, Animate Dead, Demonic Tutor, Reanimate, Vampiric Tutor. Oh, yeah. Necrotal, Terror, all the classic black stuff. Necromancy, Mind Twist. There's a Jet Mox there, Vindicate. Oh, there's Barefoot Strix. Oh, there's, yeah. Ophiomancer. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. There's Shieldred. Not a Stronghold. Oh yeah. Gristlebrand. Wow. There's Order of the Ebon Hand, one of several pieces of artwork for that. From that set. Oh, Gravetime. Oh, it's a slightly different treatment for that. Death Touch and creatures. Exalted creature tokens. There's Vampire Hex Mage in old style borders. That's pretty cool. And there's Braids. Braid seems to come up a lot. Well, I say a lot. I've probably done lots of these episodes now, but every now and again we get an appearance from Braids. Okay, what do we got in EDHRec? Oh, okay. Oh, there's Braids again. That looks pretty cool. Maya Feathers Knight. Legendary creature, Elemental Bird. Ooh. Flying Trample Ward. Creatures your opponents shall have base toughness 1. I can see why it would be good in that deck. Oh, and there's the Dragon. Bit of 5 colour shenanigans there. Trexia. Anything else here that plays around with -1? Wither. That was the other thing I was trying to think of. Wither. Yeah, -1. So probably anything here might pique my interest with -1 if we're going for a sort of full-on synergy. Massacre Girl. What does the average deck look like? It's Contagion clasp in it and Contagion engine, but no Contagion, but it is the average deck, so. How far down the pile is it? Yeah, just because it's been in some decks doesn't mean it might be that high up. What else have we got here? What about the this one? I suppose the inclusion is pretty low, so yeah, it's going to be buried in amongst all the other versions of this deck that don't use it. That's the trouble. This one, I imagine, if we do go for an average deck, are we likely to see it? Nope. So not proportionally, not even high enough for an average deck. So yeah, not and you probably guessed that from just the original stats here. Not used an awful lot there, but I was a little bit curious. Now, as I said, and the idea is with these single cards is to have a look and just see if they did ever end up in decks. So this was actually in the winning deck in the Worlds 1997, which was also included in the World Championship decks that were released around that time, which we'll have a look at in a moment. So here they're calling it Black 5, and you can see the land base is pretty complex here. We've got City of Brass, Gemstone Mine, Sulphurous Springs, Swamp, Underground River, Undiscovered Paradise, 25 creatures, Black Knight, Fallen Skari, Knight Stromgold, Man of War, Necrodog, Necrotal, Shadow Guildmage, and Oktabi Orangutan. And so it's in amongst the instants and sorceries, not surprisingly. Choking Sands, there's our 4 Contagions, 2 Earthquakes, 4 Incinerates, and then this is the sideboard over here. It also did crop up in that particular event as a sideboard card in this Beatdown Necro deck. And you can see here this would be, yeah, this is definitely a mono black deck, unlike the other one, which was because of all these cards here, you get access to like all the colours of magic. And if you look at the creatures that are in here and the spells, you can see why you might need that. And of course it means that you can run all sorts of interesting cards in the sideboard for that deck, whereas in the Beatdown Necro, yeah, you're definitely heavily invested here in mono black. So some of the cards, there is some similarity here. So we've got these cards. There's a Choking Sands. Yeah, this looks like a pretty nasty deck. There's your Necropotence. And there's Disc. And then of course these are all here for particular matchups. There's an interesting one here for green or white decks. Dystopia, Infernal Darkness, Mind Warp, Necropotence is in the sideboard, and then Serrated Arrows. So yeah, it was in the main deck, in the winning deck. And if you look at the World Championship decks, here it's listed as Prismatic Black Aggro. alongside that in the finals, because it was the winning deck, was this red, white, blue speed control deck. And we've got Green Stompy, which was a semi-finalist deck, and then this one, which is a red blue aggro deck as well. It's always interesting with these to see sort of certain commonalities that seem to be cropping up here. I've got things like City of Brass in some of these decks where we need access to multiple colours of mana. Sort of an obvious choice there. What's the blue creature in here? Oh, it was Mana Wall. Interesting, you've got speed control deck. We've got circle of projections in the sideboard. Suppose it smart. Are we in the middle of trying to think. At this point in Magic would have had real problems with Necropotence. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where that really sort of kicked in and got to be a problem. Well, we're probably around about that period. Okay, so back to this. Let us go into the tagger, and we'll leave the best till last, shall we? So this I think we have had a look at before, but it is interesting to see these sort of deprecated power toughness counters, which I'm assuming were got rid of because it was just confusing having sort of imbalanced counters on things. Image, what am I doing here? Release date, ascending. Let's see what comes up. Would help if I actually had a colon there. Is first printing. Oh, of course, the clockwork stuff. Lesser werewolf. So here what we've got 7+1/+0 counters on beast. After beast attacks or blocks creature, discard a counter. So you can see it's like referencing this bit here. What was that errated to? Oh, this creature. Okay. There you go, counters on avian. After avian attacks or blocks, so that got errata to that. That's an interesting shenanigans you can go down, is the whole sort of, I don't know if it's even tagged as such, but looking at any card that has the word clockwork in the name. So -1, -0 counters, -0, -2 counters, Tackle Maggot, which has 0, -1 counters, Frankenstein's, oh my word, look at that. You may choose to give it a +2+, well, that's really quite involved. Yeah. That's very amusing. Oh, good old living armour. So, is that tagged up as... No, I was just wondering. Yeah, interesting way of doing equipment, I suppose, but it's not tagged up as pseudo equipment or whatever they call it. Necropolis. Counts as a wall. Take a creature in your graveyard and remove it from the game. put X plus 0 plus 1 counts on it. X is the removed creatures cast away. Armor Thrall. There's Dwarven Armourer. We have Sacred Boon, Essence Flare, Luvian Hydra, Greater Werewolf. There was a lesser wolf as well, yeah. That did -1, -0, and the Greater Werewolf does a -0, -2. That was from Homelands. Oh, there's a Clockwork Steed and a Clockwork Swarm. There's our friend Contagion. Oh, more stuff here that's sort of playing around with -0, -1s, -1, -0, +0, +1s. Is that a... There's Wall of Roots. Oh, and then, yeah, I thought it's another one, the Chimera, which were +2/+2 counters from Visions. I think I have these in paper, actually. I just sort of bought them because I thought they looked interesting. And we got some stuff from, yeah, the Astral cards from that game that always, his name escapes me. Was it called Charizard, the game? Yeah, anyway. Fungus Elemental, which is using +2/+2 counters. Lightning Serpent from Ice Age. So that did use a bit of a throwback mechanic because it was supposedly developed at the same time as Ice Age. Supposedly. An Experiment 5, an Autumn Willow and Baron. What's this? The Unknown Event. Okay. Interesting. What else can we have a look at here? Well, spot removal is just, yeah. So you're going to get all the classic spot removal stuff here. Doomblade. I suppose that is one that I tend to think of when thinking about spot removal. This is an interesting card. Summon a Leper. And then we've got things like Absent Charm. It's always interesting on a modal card where you get one of the modes is spot removal. And things like Acidic Slime. So, you know, real mixed bag here that do the removing through a number of different mechanisms and scenarios. Cycle All Pitch Spell. So there's only ever been 5 of those. Well, only tagged 5 that only been tagged. Let me just see where. So these are all really old cards, aren't they? Am I right? We're just seeing these in a slightly different thing, yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's yeah. So that's, yeah, part of a cycle. Not surprisingly, because that's in the name, the tag. Okay. Multiple targets. How many cards with a manaless? But okay. So let's see where that manifests itself. Yes. Date. There we go. Oh, so yeah, it's going to be this. Yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. So we've got all these 0 value cards. And there's Pyrokinesis. So anything in here. So it's either going to be something that's 0 mana in the casting cost, or there's something in here which overrides in some way the casting cost and you end up getting it for 0 mana. There's Mox Diamond. So that then begs the question, what was the most recent? Oh, it's going to put some X cards here as well, isn't it? But that doesn't matter. Okay, Mox Jasper. Yeah, not something you see played around with too often. You do occasionally get these 0 mana creatures. Of course, this is interesting. They did a token generator, which was a pact. Oh yeah, the pacts, yeah, so of course, yeah, they would also fall into that category. Because you're paying the upkeep. I do like this style of Ornithopter, the old style. I mean, I think Ornithopter, most of the artwork's pretty cool, from what I remember. And so it's also classed. These cards use a type of counter no other card does. Yeah, I'm sure we've been down this rabbit hole before, but I probably cleared the cache since then. In one episode, I think we did it. I was talking about, you know, wonder what it'd be like to try and build a deck where, yeah, every card had some sort of unique counter on it. I mean, you've got plenty to choose from here. Probably be tempted to go with just some sort of 5-colour utility commander, just so I don't get too worried about synergies. That's Gemstone Mine. Ooh, this is creepy artwork. Oh, there's Lotus Blossom, of course. There's petal counters. Fishing pole from Foundations. Equipped creature has 1 tap. Tap fishing pole. Put a bait counter on fishing pole. Whenever equipped creature becomes untapped, remove a bait counter from this equipment. If you do, create a 1/1 blue fish creature token. Ooh, it's a kitty. Which unintentionally leads us into, yeah, final bit of the puzzle. Let's have a look at. Ooh. Cool. Oh yeah, there is a. Oh wow, I'd not really noticed that before. How do I want to do this? Unique art. If I do, let me just check something. Release date. Do I need to worry? Let's just try this and then see where we end up. So let's see if the number goes down 16 to 13. Okay. So I'm going to just duplicate that and then remove that and then do that. Okay. So I just look at this through a couple of lenses. Favourite cats in Magic. Well, favourite black cats in Magic, because there's some other ones obviously that aren't black cats. And this looks very fuzzy. Looks rather more spiky than floofy. Oh look there, there's a little kitty there. Spot the kitty. There we go. You see a guard approach. You see a kitty approach. Where is the kitty in this one? There. There's a black kitty there. Oh. Infinity. Now that is definitely Mav. Actually. It's not quite as floofy as Mav, but it's definitely got his markings pretty much to a T. He's got a bit more white just under here. Just under his mouth. But that's not far off. He has the same sort of piercing eyes as well. That when he looks at you, yeah, it's like he's looking right into your soul. 9 Lives Familiar. Oh yeah, he's in some ways a bit like a combination of that and that. So he has the sort of slightly fluffiness of this cat with the colour scheme of this fine fella here. So let's just look at this. So yeah, there is. I'd never noticed that. So what? Oh yeah, because that was the original artwork for Pox. So there is a black cat in Pox. That's amusing. Panther Warriors. That's black. Dawn. What do we got here? Anything we didn't see? Oh, okay. What was that? So there we go. Oh. So if you wanted that little artwork collection, how much would that set you back? Let's have a look. If we go into checklist, which is always the easy way to do it. Oh, that's pretty good. The only expensive one is this one then. The 9 Lives Familiar. So is that only available? Oh, cool. Okay, so what I should do then is do Art Black Cat. Just take that out. And then do all prints. Yeah, okay, so all prints. Yeah. See what else we've got here. Yeah, so there's a couple here, but there's this as well. What's going on there? Prints, yeah, did that right. If I go into the checklist, what's happened now? There we go. Yeah, I suppose this is like a super fancy foil version. Okay, yeah, so if you ignore the super fancy foil, then yeah, wow, okay, that's pretty nice. What's this one? 5th edition Pox is $5.19. Is that interesting? Yeah. I just never noticed that before. That's funny. I've already just thought it was a black shadow. I should see. Have I opened much 5th edition? I should see if I've got that. Because I think I've opened. I'm not sure now, yeah. Whether I did ever open up any 5th. It's probably at least one pack. 5th, I suppose, I've opened. I think I opened 4th and 6th. A few packs. But yeah, I'll have to go through my binder, see if I can find it. This one. Well, that's from 6th. That looks familiar. Oh, wow, that's nice. Oversiders League prizes. There's the one from the World Championship deck, that version of it. That got put into one of those Masters Edition for online play because it would have been so old that it wouldn't have got in through any other way, I don't think. Yeah. Because it's not been reprinted. So that, yeah, that appeared in Dark Ascension, didn't it? So there would, oh, so that's the promo. Then, well, that must be the, or the pre-release promo, I suppose. Yeah, there's another one here, isn't there, for the Dominaria promo. Oh, these must be, so that's a list one, that's a jumpstart one. I think I've got a, is this the one I've got? One of these, I don't remember if it's the black cow or the white cow. I've got a foil version which is upstairs in my wife's office actually. So. And the other one that amuses me, which wouldn't be here, is the one where it generates like a mummified token of a cat. I don't know if you know that one. I'll see if I can find it in a moment. Mercer Karloff Manor. Let's go back one, see if I can find Cats of Magic. Obviously a lot more. And it would be, look at that. Adorable kitty. It's not that one. So if I line these up by release date and do it descending, that way I'll probably get to it quicker. Well, there is quite a number of cats in Magic, so saying that, and I just can't remember off the top of my head the set. I know when it is. It is sometime around the era of Amonkhet. But I can't remember if it was in that set or an adjacent set to that. Warehouse Tabby. It's a good excuse to look at some cat themed Magic the Gathering cards. The one I'm thinking of is the one with the, I think it has a necklace on it. It's going to take me ages to find this, unfortunately, doing it this way. Oh well, what the hell. It's a good excuse to... That's an interesting gang there. I've seen some cool videos recently. I don't know if they're AI generated, I'm assuming. I don't think many of them are, where they've got this sort of ones of cats going round like almost like a gang. This looks pretty cool. Oh. Pride Malkin. No, yes, here's ones I'm recognising now. 9 lives. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's all the elaborate ones from Lair of Behemoths. Oh, and of course, yeah, these ones, which were these sort of hybrid ones around that period. We suddenly got an increase in the amount of sort of hybrid cat creatures, imaginary creatures. With the Death Dweller. Might be a bit of a stretch there, I don't, yeah. Anyway. What's this? Theros Beyond Death, okay. Wow. Yeah. I think we all know that, yeah, cats are a pretty big thing in Magic the Gathering. It's Dread Malkin. Oh. There's another Mavish looking cat. We got a Ajani all over the place. On this one is Cat Dragon token. Oops, it's kicking out those ones. Adorned Pouncer. Okay. So there's Adorned Pouncer. This is the one. It's always maybe there's a sort of mummified version of, where's it gone? Oh, come on. There we go, yeah. This one, Sacred Cat, which is upstairs in my wife's office. And then I happen to have a token of this, which is also, yeah. Been embalmed. There we have it. So long way round of trying to find where was it? It was Amonkhet. Okay, so I could have probably done that. But where would be the fun in that? Cascading Cataracts. Somewhere in there must be one of these must be like a cat character, or anthropomorphized. I can never say that word. You know what I mean. Anthropomorphized cat. Whoops! Did I just download that by mistake? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Pretty cool close up. What rarity is that? Okay. Yeah, I'm probably unlikely to have one of those. I don't know if you get the same thing, but when I do these Scryfall episodes, I think, yeah, I should spend an afternoon just going through binders and seeing if I've got paper versions of these. So there we have it. Thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.